chests heaved and our pelvises remained pressed tightly against one another. And once they were gone, I was back on her lips, forcing them open and grabbing at her sides, while kissing her with reckless abandon. I was disgusted with myself as I continued kissing her domineeringly. I wanted to pull away and vomit, purging the ugly and dirty from my body, so I could be clean like her. Clean like Carlisle and Em and everyone else. But I couldn't stop the need, and she didn't want me to. She should have been repulsed and terrified by my behavior. But she was flushed, breathless, awake, and entirely compliant with every moan of pleasure my control granted her. She was my girl. My lungs burned, and my chest ached with desperation, so I went to her jaw, kissing and tasting what was mine, as the adrenaline of the lust gave me a newfound energy. Then her lips went to my neck, I felt her teeth, and she bit down hard. It hurt and I grunted into her neck, and shoved my hips into hers sharply, because the pain felt good. Her teeth sinking into my skin, penetrating, and marking me. I wanted to mark her. I wanted to sink my teeth into her neck, and get the same pleasure of knowing everyone would see it, and know she already fucking belonged to someone. She was my girl.
Don't go,
she panted, as she released my neck, her hands coming to weave and fist into my hair at my crown, and suddenly she was controlling me. A defiant set in her jaw as I allowed her to pull my head back, casting my face up to the gray sky. I hissed and clenched my eyes shut against the sting of it. The pain penetrated the numbness, and made a bright jolt shoot through my head and travel to the tips of my ears. I moaned, and shifted against her while she pulled harder. So strongly her hands trembled. But she was still asking, and being selfish by taking advantage of my complete obedience to her every whim. She didn't want me to move out. She wanted me to stay and take all of this bullshit so that I didn't even know what she wanted. I couldn't fathom how it would benefit her anymore. But I agreed with a sharp nod and a hiss, making my scalp burn more with the resistance. Obedient to her every whim yet again. She seemed relieved, releasing my hair, and once again retreating to her meek position against the wall. And now it was my turn. I panted, and returned my palms to the wall with a loud clap, fascinated at how she bit her lip and leaned her head back with a small writhe against me. I had no right to order her not to do it. It was selfish and cruel to even think about it, and the last 20 minutes probably proved what everyone thought about me. But she got hers, and we were tit for tat, so why the fuck shouldn't I? No fucking therapy. I growled inches from her lips, seeing the same vision, that made me furious at the thought of her loving someone else. Someone better. Much to my surprise, she agreed without hesitation, nodding compliantly in resignation, and remaining entirely submissive to me as I trapped her against the wall. And knowing she wasn't going to give in to what they wanted made the urge to dominate her dissipate. I was still trapping her beneath me, when I became mortified with my actions. Impossibly more disgusted with my barbaric behavior. I eased off of her and lowered my hands to her cheeks, and I stroked them tenderly as I gazed into her eyes remorsefully. Then I kissed her, like I should have. Soft and slow and reverent as I stroked her cheeks, and apologized the only way I knew I could. My lips and caress said, I was sorry for letting it consume me like that. Sorry for not pulling away even though she wanted it. Sorry for liking it, and more than anything else, sorry for planning to bring her back here tomorrow. We stood behind the map building for the rest of lunch, kissing and stroking, and claiming, and making promises that we wouldn't leave. And when the bell rang, neither of us wanted to go back to that place, where nothing went right and nobody understood. We wanted to stay by the dirty brick wall, and the loud metal air conditioners, and let our need consume us for a little while longer. But I still had the home to go. I still had the park to play. I still had grades to keep up. And even though I fucking hated that feeling of helplessness, that filled the pit of my stomach with a familiar heavy red that festered and suffocated me, I still had obligations to all of these things. But they weren't going to win, because I still had my girl.